Lithium stocks fuel a sell down on the ASX, the rocket ship that's minting millionaires, and gambling on fixed wrestling matches. Welcome to Trading Up, a collaboration by the West Australian and Grapher. I'm Heidi Cuthbert. This episode is brought to you by Stake, Australia's most recommended broker. The ASX closed down more than 2% today. What happened? Well, a couple of things, but this chart perhaps helps explain it the best. The global lithium price has pretty much been in free fall since it peaked in November last year. The big lithium miners were amongst the worst on the ASX today. Alkem lost over 8%, Pilbara Minerals down 7%, and about 6% for Mineral Resources. And a couple of the smaller players were also under attack from a killer whale out of Canada. Blue Orca is an activist investment firm that gets its namesake, well, from the killer whale. And it's been shorting these two stocks after raising questions about their mining licenses. While closer to home, another whale. This guy, Tim Murray, who you might remember, incidentally, was the Labor Party's candidate for the seat of Wentworth. Well, anyway, I digress. He's long been a very, very vocal lithium short seller, and he's changed his tune. He's teamed up with US-based lithium explorer Anson Resources, and guess what? He's now screaming, buy, buy, buy on lithium. The other big bombshell for the ASX today was the banks. Investors tend to go a little bit crazy over anything involving banks that looks like anything that could be an indication that maybe a bank might fail. Shares of Silicon Valley Bank, so that's the banking institution for big tech over in the US, its shares slumped more than 60% overnight. And then the Aussie banks, they felt the fallout. The big four banks were all sharply lower. Now it's time to play our favourite game. If you had a time machine, what would you do with your money? An Australian company that makes micro semiconductors, Weebit Nano, was just a wee bit itself 3 years ago, like what I did there. 3 years ago today, shares in Weebit Nano were just 36 cents. Well, they closed today at $8.69. So, yep, if you'd invested $10,000 3 years ago, you'd have a pretty sizable house deposit today. Pot stock Ozcan today offloaded its medicinal cannabis business for dogs. Ozcan bought the cannabis pet company called Canpal Animal Therapeutics for just over $17 million. But it's divesting 52% of its stake for just $1. So why would a company do this? Ozcan's currently suspended from the ASX, and also the former CEO is currently looking for love on a reality TV show. And you can't make this up. World Wrestling Entertainment, or WWE, is in talks to legalise gambling on its fixed matches. Yes, you heard me right. The matches are scripted. So a whole bunch of people already knows who wins before the event, and they want to introduce gambling. That sounds legit. You can find more business news content on thewest.com.au, or see all the data and insights behind this video. Check out grapher.com. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Trading Up. I'm Heidi Cuthbert. See you next time.